I love the monthly retainer model. So what's the agreement then? Like how, because this is the challenge is if you're charging per placement, that's an easy calculation, right? It's whatever percent you charge of the, starting salary, what have you. When you're on more of a subscription model, then is that for a set number of placements or is it scalable? Like, how does that actually work?
Yeah, so we charge per number of roles they want us to work on. So we've worked on anywhere from 1 to 8 roles at a time for any of our clients. So then, we just increase that number. Once you hit 5, you get a steep discount because we want to obviously honor that you're doing a lot of business with us. But it's just a charge per role. And then it's a 30-day cancellation notice. So if you, most of my bigger clients have continual need. So I fill one role, they slot in another one, and we just never stop working with them. Like that's why I have those 2 long-term retainers. Most of my clients are smaller businesses, so we fill a role and they're like, okay, I'm good for 6 months. I'll circle back to you when I need another role filled.
But how does that work on a monthly then if they only have one need?
I estimate for them. So let's say like I recently filled a COO. I was like executive level search. I would estimate that'll take me about 3 months on average. So just so you upfront have an idea of what it will take. My favorite thing is under promising and then over delivering. So that COO fill actually took 2 months, but I say the average to kind of prepare them. And then when I'm in the sales process, I'm just very upfront. I'm like, this is what I would estimate it'll take. And I've honestly never, in the year I've been in business, I've never gone over the estimate that I anticipated for them. And like I said, a lot of my clients have just stayed on even after I filled that one role. Which is
that's what we want is a long-term partnership, right? And totally. So you're growing with them.
Yeah.
And so the retainer is based on, I'm trying to get my head around it, Julia. So you estimate how many roles they're looking to fill today, but doesn't that fluctuate? Or do they tell you this is how many roles we want to fill in the next 12 months?
No. So usually they they come to me with one role. They're like, we want you to fill one role.
Yep.
And they're testing me, which is appropriate. So I'm like, great, like see how I do on this role. And then if it goes well, and if you have other roles to fill, we'll ramp up to 2, 3, whatever.
Okay.
But that's normally how it works. They tell me how many roles they need.
Okay, got it. So it's, and then what happens if you get out of sync, for example, like, they paid you a retainer based on one role, but they end up hiring 3.
So,
invoice the difference.
Yeah. Let me. So that's a great question, and let me. I'm pausing because there's nuance there. So, if it's 3 of the same role, like let's say they had a Python developer and they needed that filled, but I ended up finding them 3 candidates who were so good that they hired 3 Python developers. Congratulations. You just hired 3 amazing developers for 1 flat monthly rate.
Oh, wow.
Way
you don't
to go.
charge them anymore?
No, I don't.
Okay.
No, I don't.
Wow, that's very generous.
That's why I've closed 7. Like, but do you see how the money has followed? Like the money has followed my generosity. So it's kind of a perfect relationship because for them, it's scary, right? A lot of recruiters only charge fee-based. So they're like, wait, you want me to pay you before you've given me a hire? Like, that's psychotic. And I'm like, okay, well, that's good luck. Like, okay. So I think it shows them they can trust me. It shows them I'm not trying to bamboozle them. And it shows them that, well, honestly, it shows both of us that like, I'm here for your repeat partnership. Like, I'm not trying to like nickel and dime you out of every individual placement. I want to be your go-to recruitment partner for the entirety of the existence of your business.
I love that. Okay, cool. Now, so you said there's nuance. If it's 3 Python developers, great.
So here's the nuance. Right. Yeah. So if I'm like, let's say I'm working on a Python developer and then they're like, hey, we also need you to hire a .NET developer. I'm like, great. That's going to be a second role that we'll need to open and a second retainer that you'll need to pay for.
Okay.
So if it's a totally different search, then that's going to take obviously a lot of time for my team to focus on that role now. So you would need to either end recruiting for the Python and do the .NET instead, or we'll do both at the same time and then I'll charge you for both.